All right, we are going to get started. We have quite the meeting today. We have a number of updates because it's been a couple months since we've come together. And I think we might have a guest on today too, so we'll find out in a few minutes. So this is Staying Mission Driven 2025, January, the very end of January. WSU Extension programs and policies are consistent with federal and state laws and regulations on non-discrimination. We're really glad you're here today. Glad you could participate, and Extension is for everyone. WSU Connors is the college that our program is in with an extension, and Connors builds a resilient Washington together. And you'll see in this purpose statement from our college that volunteers are a big part of building and creating an adaptable workforce, providing secure food supply systems, helping to maintain sustainable natural resources, and supporting thriving, healthy communities, families, and individuals by engaging university-trained volunteers to empower and sustain diverse communities with relevant, unbiased, research-based horticulture and environmental stewardship education to address 9 important priorities facing Washington residents today. So I just walked you through the first few slides of our newly approved PowerPoint presentations that meet all civil rights and WSU accessibility requirements, new accessibility requirements coming down from the state and from DC. So I offer this as a demo, as an example, to see how easy it is to really cover those and how powerful that extension is for everyone message can really be, and showing our alignment with the college and with the university to, tell others that we are a part of the university and are a part of the purpose that the university serves. So today I have some announcements. I will get into our 2025 program focus and then hand it over to Kathy Lamro for the Advanced Education Conference 2025 update, and to Tana for the Master Gardener Foundation of Washington State update. Before I go on, I have an update on the Endowed Chair campaign, and I think we have Jim Smith here today. I think I saw him on. Jim, are you out there?
I am. Don't have video on because I'm pulled over to the side of the road. But
Okay. Well,
okay,
thank you for joining us, and I
absolutely.
appreciate you being here. Jim is Senior Director of Development with WSU Connors. And I want to give you an update, first reminding you of the purpose of this campaign. It was really about being able to appoint a consumer horticulturist for the Extension Master Gardener program full-time in perpetuity. And that person then would be responsible for identifying training opportunities for current master gardeners and attracting new master gardeners, equipping master gardener volunteers with the latest science to effectively educate our communities about horticultural and societal issues, engaging you in research opportunities in your local counties, and representing the Master Gardener program alongside me, within our internal WSU audiences and our external audiences. Unfortunately, we're not meeting our fundraising benchmarks. And the messages that we're trying to send to inspire people to give, they're not resonating with the constituency bases. So, and then one last thing, additionally, if and when we reach that $1.5 million goal, which we have until April of 2027 to do, It will be unlikely due to a lot of unforeseen circumstances that WSU will be able to hire or appoint a single faculty consumer horticulturist fully dedicated full-time to the Extension Master Gardener program. I want to make it very, very clear that the money that we've raised so far and the money that we will continue to raise must stay with the Extension Master Gardener program. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has to stay with the program legally. So we found this out in December, right before the holiday, when our Connors Dean, Wendy Powers, and Jim, and then Vicki McCracken, the Extension Dean, met with us to fill us in on the news. And to say we were, disappointed was an understatement. It's disappointing news. We've had quite a bit of time to sit with it. And we want you to know that, we're not giving up. WSU Connors Development and Connors Extension Deans are fully committed to the Master Gardener program and the value, and they, really value the differences that you make in your communities as a part of serving the WSU mission. Really protecting our environment and ensuring healthy food is easily accessible, building healthy, resilient communities, families, and individuals. Our program does that in spades. So next steps include Connors Development researching options for how, best path for moving forward. How are we going to be successful here? We are intending to host a listening session hosted by the State Foundation. I'll let Tana talk a little bit more about that later. But, in essence, it's really time to reinvent the campaign, to retool. When I shared this news with my advisory group, a volunteer said, well, wow, we tried. We were partially successful. It's life. It was a valiant effort. And what matters now is what we do next. How many times do we get, knocked down in our lives, personal lives or professional lives? And that doesn't mean we have failed. What it means is that it's time to get back up, and it's time to hold our heads high, and time to retool and refocus and adjust, to really understand what we need to do to be successful. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts and understand why the message about the importance of the campaign maybe didn't resonate. So I believe we're going to host that listening session on February 5th at 4 p.m. Tana and I talked about it earlier this week. And when I was talking with her about it earlier this week, I didn't realize that next week was February. So I want to make sure we have enough lead time to make sure to get the message out that we want to hear from you and that this listening session is going to happen. So be on the lookout for more news about that if you would like to participate in that listening session. I want to reiterate that the money raised so far and the money that will be raised in the future will stay with the WSU Extension Master Gardener program. So part of next steps will be to better clarify a process for making decisions around use of the endowment funds. Jim, do you have anything to add? Oop, you're on mute if you're
sorry, no, I just that's the joys of trying to do Zoom over an iPhone.
Okay.
No, I would just say, we're in the landscape of the university is changing dramatically right now. As we 7 months ago, the state had a surplus or projected surplus, and now we're in a multi-billion-dollar deficit, and we are readjusting the college itself. And so those opportunities that were out there originally of increased faculty staffing and so on and so forth are not going to come to fruition in many different areas, and it's painful, but it does give us an opportunity to take a step back, readjust, and see how we can be creative with this. Because no matter what, the goal of this is to provide support for those out in the field, and that's how we're going to be directing this going forward. We will be we're working right now with the WSU Foundation to see under what parameters we can adjust this fund, and we should have some updates for folks here in the next couple of weeks. This time of year, it is conference season, so tracking everybody down it can be difficult.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you being here. I see that you need to get going.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. I'm glad that you took the time to be on. It's you know, these are difficult messaging to share, and we appreciate your support and now and moving forward, advocating for us.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to hearing the listening session, being at the listening session on the 5th. So,
right. All right.
Thank you very much.
Safe travels.
Thanks.
Any questions around this? Probably tons of them. Okay, hearing none, I will move forward. So, are you planning to attend the Northwest Flower and Garden Festival? If you are, you can help raise some money for the State Foundation by using the link on the slide. I know you can't get it. We'll put it in the chat for you. To purchase your tickets. For each ticket purchased, $2 goes back to the State Foundation. You must purchase your tickets on or before February 18. The show runs Feb 19 through Feb 23. Thanks to the State Foundation and other county foundations, the statewide program is participating, and we'll have a booth at the show again this year. We're excited to be there, and we're going to focus on our program priorities and on providing you know, tips that gardeners can take in their own yards to garden sustainably and help protect the environment. Also, if you want to attend the show, check out the approved continuing education for Master Gardeners. Go to gardenshow.com, click into the green seminar box, and then at the bottom of that drop-down menu, you'll get the WSU Master Gardener CE credit. Long list of seminars that have been vetted and approved for continuing education. And also at the show, we work hard to advertise your events. We visit with a few thousand people each year, and they're all wanting to know what events are in my county, what events are in my neighborhood. And so we have a handout it's a card, a bookmark that we hand out with a QR code and a link, taking folks to a calendar that has all of our educational and other outreach events like plant sales listed on the calendar. So you have until February 5th to get your events entered into the calendar so we can make sure that they're uploaded and linked to advertise at the show. This is kind of what the calendar looks like here. We'll get these links out to you. We've sent them out to coordinators. The bit.ly link for $2 going back to the State Foundation has been out on Facebook and out on a number of newsletters, and it will be in the Seeds for Thought as well.
Jennifer, all three links are in chat.
Oh, terrific. I just noticed that the chat had some things in it. I was going to look at it. Thanks, Debbie. You're on it.
You're welcome.
All right. So, update on program and foundation relations. If you remember during our Staying Mission Driven meeting in August, I spoke about the WSU Extension Master Gardener Program and Master Gardener Foundation of Washington State efforts to build mutually beneficial partnerships between county programs and county foundations. WSU has MOAs or Memoranda of Agreements with foundations, granting the foundation, in most cases, these foundations are separate nonprofit 501c3 organizations, the privilege of using WSU marks, the term Master Gardener, and WSU Extension Master Gardener volunteers to lead and volunteer on foundation-driven projects like plant sales. The MOAs outline a number of other things as well, but in return, the MOA defines that the foundations will engage in fundraising activity to support the program, like demo gardens, plant and insect clinics, volunteer recognition, and other outreach events. Program and foundation partnerships are really important for the success of our program. They allow a level of flexibility and nimbleness that WSU just, isn't able to provide. It's too big of an institution. It takes too long to get things done. So that flexibility, the nimbleness is really, really important. And foundations take care of the checkbook, so to speak. And I know that seems simple, but I know it's not, right? There are foundations ensure volunteers get reimbursed and that bills get paid. It's a very time-consuming task full of immense responsibility. And it takes, a lot of people to get that done. And foundations offer volunteers an avenue for input and consultation for the program. Foundations give volunteers a voice. Foundations can deliver Master Gardener programming message in different ways than WSU can. At the end of last year, due to unresolvable differences, the Master Gardener Foundation of Benton Franklin counties voted to dissolve their organization as a legal entity. And as such, WSU provided notification of termination of the MOA. I want you to know that WSU did everything we possibly could to resolve our differences with the foundation. We did not, when I say we, WSU did not want, nor did we expect that we would not be able to resolve our differences. It's my understanding that all but one or maybe two of the foundation board members are still WSU Extension Master Gardener volunteers. They re-upped for 2025. That's good news. The transition of responsibilities from the foundation to the program and the funds is going fairly smoothly. We're working, our attorneys are handling these things for us. Through all of this, the program will continue. Planning for the future is at the forefront of the program there. The county staff and faculty with volunteer input are taking responsibility for financial management. Processes and organizational structures are being developed with volunteers. A leadership team and various committees with clear roles, responsibilities, and decision-making authorities are also being developed and approved and adopted with volunteer input, volunteer support. So right now, the program in Benton and Franklin counties is really focused on the positive and on creating a welcoming and inclusive culture for everyone. I want to reiterate and be very clear that WSU has zero intention, none whatsoever, intention of terminating MOAs with foundations. WSU values our foundation partners. We will continue our work alongside the Master Gardener Foundation of Washington State and with the WSU Contracts Office to ensure that our partnerships are mutually beneficial. This experience with Benton Franklin really heightened our awareness of the need for continued and consistent program and foundation relations training. Together, the state program and the foundation are really committed to developing and providing needed training for coordinators and boards and volunteers. One of the things we're going to do, working with Contracts Office, is updating our MOA, that memorandum of agreement, with the intent of releasing a new template that better clarifies roles and responsibilities of each party by the end of May 2025. We're also working on a chartering process whereby we review foundation articles of incorporation, bylaws, and policy and procedures for specific criteria that WSU wants to ensure is included. What that criteria is yet to be defined and is being developed by reviewing RCWs, nonprofit best practices, and seeking input from foundations, a diversity of foundations. I think I say we a lot, and when I say we, I really mean we. This is going to be a collaborative effort. Overall, the goal is to ensure mutually beneficial hand-in-glove relationships where foundations provide resource support solely to the Master Gardener program and where the program supports the foundations for a win-win. So Tana, the state foundation president, and I are both available to answer questions, provide some training. I'm going to let Tana talk more about the efforts of the state foundation during her update. Any questions about that? Okay. So that program foundations, that's a focus for us for 2025. Another focus is telling our story and on adopting the use of our evaluation tools. Your program coordinators are responsible for reporting on the efforts of the Extension Master Gardener program. And the reporting we have to do is prescribed. And it's a prescription that is sent down from the USDA. So we have to report on the issue that we are trying to address. So in this case, it's local food, right? But the other issues are our other 8 priorities. We have to explain why it's an issue that needs to be addressed. We have to describe the actions that we took to address the issue. And we have to report on the difference that we make for the people who participate in our programs. And we have to describe the public value. Why does the work we do matter to the people who don't participate? So when you're looking at your 2025 outreach, I'm asking you to plan with the end in mind and use the tools that are prepared for you. Teach to the learning objectives and evaluate your outreach so we can understand what people learned and what people will do because of what they learned. I'm not asking you to do this for all of them. I'm asking you to choose one outreach event and focus on teaching to the learning objectives that are in the program priority toolkit and use the PowerPoint presentations that are prepared for you. So let's just say you're doing a talk on water conservation. So go to our website, mastergardener.wsu.edu, scroll all the way to the bottom for volunteer resources, and click into the program priorities library. I think Debbie's going to put links in the chat for you. Grab the water conservation PowerPoint template. Use the toolkit to find the learning objectives. Use the QR code and ask folks to complete the survey. We launched our program evaluation plan in 2024. We had about 5 counties participate, and we have some good feedback, good evaluation data, but we need more. I'm hoping that at least 10 counties will participate in 2025. And I'd love to have 1,000 responses. So we need you, the Extension Master Gardener volunteer, to plan with the end in mind and use the tools that are prepared for you to reach this goal. I know there are counties working on it because I've been chatting with program coordinators. I'm excited to see what data we collect this year. So each priority has a templated slide deck that contains the learning objectives and has evaluation links included. I've heard some feedback from coordinators and some volunteers that figuring out how to teach to those objectives and using those slide decks is difficult. So the Telling Our Story team has been hearing that. We've been, trying to develop tools that will help. And so Caitlin May, the coordinator in Pierce County, I don't know if she's on, she's a member of the Telling Our Story team, and she recorded herself delivering the slide deck. I forget which slide deck she used, but hitting on those learning objectives and on the required slides that I shared this morning with you. So in the program priority toolkit, there's also a link to, Caitlin's recording of her incorporating the learning objectives and the USDA NEPA required slides. So help me, please help you so that I can tell a compelling story and your coordinators can have the data that they need to report on the issue, the reasons it's an issue, what we've done about it, how what we've done impacted the people who participate, and the people who didn't participate, that public value. Oops, I was going to check out the could we use that instead of a QR? Yeah, you can send the link. You can use a link instead of a QR code. You can use paper. Clallam County was very successful using paper forms to do evaluation. It just, then somebody had to enter the data into the survey, so we'd have it. Thanks for that. All right. So this is exciting. I think you all know this, but for a long time, WSU has been working on updating the Master Gardener training curriculum. And I'm happy to say we're going to launch the new curriculum in October of this year. And it has been peer reviewed. And now we are, I was just looking at the chat again, making sure I didn't miss anything before I could really move forward. So the data is, I have the data, it comes to the state state program. If they complete it, I have it. And I will report it back to coordinators. If we use the QR code, could we also offer another option in order to obtain more feedback? Yep, absolutely. However you can get people to fill out the survey, please do it. The bottom line is, though, everything has to be put into the Qualtrics survey using the link. Yeah, sometimes those QR codes can be hijacked, and so people can be worried about them, but ours are not hijacked. They are safe QR codes. They were created within a survey database. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. So our new curriculum is going to launch in October 2025, and we're offering it under a new name. And we're offering it under a new name because it's going to be available to people who are not keen to volunteer. So it's called WSU Extension Green School. It will train both Extension Master Gardener volunteers and offer education to the general public, people who want to learn more about gardening and environmental stewardship. So what is Green School? It's a 2-track online learning for people who want to improve their gardening experience by learning research-based horticulture and environmental stewardship. So Green School, like I said, 2 tracks for a volunteer learner and for non-volunteer learners. We're calling them, WSU Extension Master Gardener and Washington Gardener tracks. It's available to anyone living in the Pacific Northwest, including Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, and any interested person living around the globe. The content will be Pacific Northwest centric, though. We also plan to offer continuing education units for green industry professionals, including certified applicators. K-12 clock hours may also be available. We're working on that right now. Green School will be offered online. We're switching from Canvas over to a different learning management system called Moodle. It's going to be offered via Zoom as well on live reviews, Q&A sessions, presentations. These will be offered twice a week. And then additionally, for volunteer learners, the Extension Master Gardener track learners, there will be required county-based labs that are in person. In front of you here, you see workload expectations for the non-volunteer track. It's a 20-week, 120 plus hours over 20 weeks, 20 hours of direct instruction, and 100 plus hours of personal study to complete the online training. For the Extension volunteer track, approximately 180 hours over 52 weeks, if that's how you plan it. It doesn't have to be, but each county will have flexibility in how they want to plan their labs. So Extension Master Gardener volunteers must complete Green School and then do about 20 hours of in-person labs. Our labs were going to be more competency-based than hours-based. And then including that internship, 40 hours of internship. And we think that each trainee will need to spend 6 to 8 hours per week studying. And you'll see there that, when it says 52 weeks, it's potentially over 52 weeks, depending on how you manage the labs and the internship. You can be flexible, counties can be flexible. And then the in-person and county labs activities and field trips are organized by and dates are published by the county. The green school piece, the online piece, and the Zoom reviews, those will all be organized by the state level. Green school will be offered one time a year, and I'll show you the schedule here in a minute. Application, a non-extension, a non-extension Master Gardener, or just the Washington Gardener track. Registration for Green School will open August 15 and stay open through September 30. There will be a registration link available on our website during the registration period. There's no application for that, and there's no responsibility of the county to these Washington Gardener track learners. For the Extension Master Gardener track, the volunteer track, this is the slide that I shared last Wednesday with program coordinators as a starting point for discussion around the application process. And what I heard immediately was that the application period needed to be more flexible than what's listed here. I'm currently researching pros and cons to different application periods. But right now I intend to open it up, make it longer and more flexible. But the registration period for Green School will be August 15 through September 30. Master Gardener volunteers will apply through the county like they always have with the application. They'll go through a background check like they always have and agree to volunteer. So everything, very similar to how it has happened now. So I was taught when talking to the coordinators, I'm like, timing is key. We don't want to miss these dates here. So the pricing is different for the Green School people versus, the Washington Gardener learner versus the Extension Master Gardener learner. So registration will require a discount code for the Extension Master Gardener learner. We have a publicity campaign under development right now. The website is, the first few pages of the website are under review, hoping to have those published. I'm waiting on WSU to assign a URL so we can really publish those. We have some tangible assets coming. County-based websites. There's a full working document that coordinators can use, full of information to develop their websites. Connors Communications is helping us with advertising. We're going to really launch at the Northwest Flower and Garden Festival, and then county-based outreach, asking you to advertise at farmers markets, plant clinics, newspaper articles, any radio spots, fairs, word of mouth. But publicity will be key to success because the revenue that is generated in each county will, part of that revenue will go back to the county. So the more Green School registrations you have, the more money you're going to make. So here's the schedule. It's a 20-week schedule, 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. 3 weeks on, 1 week off. So they'll complete the online class and then attend the Q&A offered on Wednesday night and Thursday morning for an hour and a half each time. It's the exact same. And we're doing this to, be able to attract a variety of people. These online Zoom sessions will be recorded and shared out. And the online pieces are not required. We're not going to track attendance. Soil improvement, garden animals, IPM and pesticides. solving plant problems, flowers and pollinators, trees and shrubs. Vegetables, fruit, water and lawns. And you'll notice here, I said earlier that the Wednesday evening and Thursday mornings are exactly the same. The only time they're not going to be the same is when we have east side, west side centric topic areas. So we'll split those. We have climate change and then a track for becoming certified and then optional chapters. And the final is due by the end of February. Here's the fee schedule. WSU Extension Master Gardener volunteer track, $275. A scholarship Master Gardener, $125. The Washington Gardener Certificate track, $550. And current WSU Extension Master Gardener volunteer, $125. And then WSU employees get a 50% discount. So we know we have some challenges, right? Confusion with the two tracks. How are people going to decide and how are we going to manage that? We're working through those things right now. There's unknowns with the changes in how revenue will work. So what's going to happen, all the revenue will come to the state, and then 50% of the student generated revenue will go back to the county by a factor. You know, if the county has 100 trainees, they will get 100 times, it's about 155 per student that will go back to the county. Application period and timing, trying to figure that out, right? This is a new year, a new season, a new thing. So making sure that we're working through that. We're going to have a new learning management system, Moodle. That's, you know, learning something new as well. Managing the 2025 interns while recruiting 2025 Green School peeps. Technology, and then the change in how we do the labs. Coordinators have information on the labs. Lots of benefits. Equity across the state for all Extension Master Gardener volunteer programs. No more difference in prices. Increased access to horticulture information for all, even people who are not keen to volunteer. It allows counties to focus on teaching new volunteers to be confident and competent to serve. Frees up coordinator time to focus on volunteer development. And I will say that I've been working with my counterparts at Colorado State University, and they've been doing this since 2021. And coordinators there have been reporting an increase in retention of Master Gardener volunteers and improved readiness of Master Gardener volunteers to serve. So those are all great news. That's all great news. Any questions about that? Looks like there's a few in here. So the volunteer requirement for the MG track. So completion of Green School. Am I on the right slide? Go back one more. So complete the application, background check, sign the commitment, complete Green School, attend the county-based labs, agree to volunteer at least 40 hours in the first year, and to serve 25 hours per year and earn at least 10 hours of continuing education per year to maintain certification. But again, you know, each county has the authority to adjust that as long as they meet the minimum. Mentor program, most counties have a mentor program. If they want access to Green School, access to the online training, they will have to pay the $125. Most of the time, mentors don't have access to the training though. So the new website will post, this is Karen, Karen Conrad. The new website will post here in the next couple weeks, and we will be advertising extensively. So you will hear about how to register if you want to dig into more specific areas.
Excuse me, this is Karen again. I'm the bear. So with this, so I'm already an intern going
Right.
through the program. So I would pay an additional 125 in order to have access to
Yes.
these programs as well.
Yes,
Worth it. Thank you.
you're welcome. All right. So that's all I have. You will hear more. Your coordinators have more information. If you're part of a training team, I suggest you get with your program coordinators. But we're super excited to be offering this new training with all of its perks. So now I'm going to turn it over to Kathy. She is the chair of the Advanced Education Conference 2025. Kathy?
Morning. Happy January, almost February. I'm going to be real quick, but there are some things that are changing for the AEC this year, so we want to make sure that everybody is aware of it. And so as the slide shows, the name of the conference this year is Cultivating Resilience. It will still be held on the last Friday and Saturday of September, the 26th and the 27th. The registration fee that we did last year will be the same for this year. So that means the conference is virtual again, but there is a twist that I'm going to get to in a minute. There are committees, sponsorship committee and the program committee are both working really hard on their portion of the conference, but there still is time and room for people to join if you go, oh, that's something I'd really like to do. I'll put my email in the chat when I get done, and just let me know, and we would be glad to have you. And there is an opportunity in your own county this year, because we are going to try something new. We hear you, we hear those of you who are like, I really like being with my fellow master gardeners and sitting and chatting and hearing the questions and answers and just, having lunch with them. It's really important. And we all know, we all hear you, we all feel the same way, but the expense of putting on a conference that allows us to be able to do that is just beyond our ability to handle without having to charge a much higher registration fee. But we spent all summer, a group of us spent all summer talking over a ton of different options. And we have come up with something that we're calling the shared learning experience, and it's AKA regional gatherings. And we shared this information with your coordinators. So your coordinators have the information. If you're interested in helping with that on your county level, please get in touch with your coordinator. The deadline for the counties to sign up saying we would like to host a regional gathering is March 3rd. So we've got about a month to decide. So there's a volunteer opportunity too that we'll be looking for in your own county. And what the shared learning experience is going to be is it's going to be the Friday program. And we will include the annual meeting and the keynote, and then there will be a lunch break. And then in the afternoon, we're actually going to have 2 live presentations that will both include breaking up into Zoom rooms into the groups for a guided discussion, and then coming back with some feedback. So there'll be some interaction going on. And then Saturday will be like what you experienced last year. There'll be a choice of watching something live or watching some of the pre-recorded sessions. All the live sessions will be recorded, so you can watch them later, whatever you choose to not watch. And we will have recorded sessions to watch on Friday afternoon if you choose to not, or it's not available to you to go to a regional gathering. So there'll be more information coming out. Just wanted to let you know. And the last thing I wanted to point out was that we have secured Larry Weiner, who is an ecology-based landscaper, and he is based on the East Coast, but he has worked in Washington. He's aware of the West Side, East Side issues on both sides of the state, and he is going to provide a presentation that I think is going to be really, really interesting. And for those of you who attended last year, he did do a recorded session so that you could get a little preview of what he is going to talk about, but he's going to expand on that in the keynote. So that's the gist of what's going on for AEC, and we hope everybody will show up.
Thanks, Kathy. So I shared this slide with coordinators, so coordinators know that this is an option. If you want to take this on, get with your coordinator. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Tana.
Good morning. Boy, this is an information-packed meeting this morning. You can tell that there's a lot going on. I want to start by giving a great deal of thanks, first of all, to volunteers in general. You know, we've really been grateful for this winter weather. For the most part, it's been cold, but I know so many of the local counties have still had time to work in demo gardens and plan for next year. The work that you do is so important, I think, especially at this time. So please accept our thanks. We recognize all of the hours and all of the skill and expertise that you give to Master Gardeners, and we're just deeply appreciative. Secondly, Northwest Flower and Garden Show always brings that wonderful feeling of hope to gardeners. And this year, we'll have a great display showing our priorities and some hands-on learning. In addition, we just mentioned last year's AEC. There will be recordings of key sessions from AEC last year for sale to master gardeners who may have been too busy to view, and also to the general public. So be sure and ask about those when you visit if you're interested. We're also working actively on sponsorships for this year's show. Our long-term goal is to ensure that we have public sponsorships to support that show and take some of the pressure off of our counties. And so watch for more information about that as we publish our goals and strategic plan for this next year. Speaking of that, this last Saturday, the board officers, extended members of our executive committee held a retreat in Ellensburg. I want to thank Carol Ann Ebert for facilitating that retreat for us. We worked hard, we laughed a lot, and we really focused on the difference that we could make for foundations across the state as well as the important relationship that we have with the Master Gardener program. I think Jennifer's table probably was the rowdiest of our two, but no, she's shaking her head. But we came away with great ideas and a renewed sense of the benefits of working together in partnership and what we can accomplish. We reviewed our strategic goals and paid attention to feedback from boards and foundation presidents and coordinators. And it's very interesting because there were really few surprises in the feedback that we got from our survey in preparation for the retreat. But it reinforced to us the importance of some of the directions that we're selecting. So, for instance, partnerships are a real priority, and especially over the last 2 years, we have become even more sensitive to the importance of partnerships for our small foundations. They have limited people to accomplish their work. They have limited membership and other local constraints that we really need to be aware of and help them address. In addition to that, we heard a desire to help advance technology for use across the state. So we'll be looking, for instance, at some work and some training associated with the Microsoft 365 projects that can help foundations do their work even more effectively and efficiently. As Jennifer mentioned, we're developing templates to help local foundations, some ways for them to be able to view examples of MOAs and bylaws and policies and procedures and other documents to use at the local level to help make that important work less intrusive on the actual work that foundations can do. We want to ensure that there's unified messages that are provided by the program and the foundation. And we talked about the importance of that in our relationship. And then also, there were on the surveys some program issues versus foundation issues that Jennifer's going to send back to the coordinators. Questions about plant clinics, recruitment, public outreach, that clearly belongs on the program side of our relationship, but we want to make sure that that input isn't lost as we move forward. So what are you going to see? Well, we're working to identify multi-year sponsors for Flower Garden Festival, the AEC, and to make the sponsorships more equitable. We've completed our bylaws and will unveil our policies and procedures in March. Now, that's not very sexy work, I have to say, but it's important work because it gives us a basis from which we operate. We're also working on our strategic plan update, hope to have that completed by May. As Jennifer mentioned, we'll be working at the state level and also with county partners to make progress against the MOAs that are important to have in place in recognizing that supportive relationship with our university. And then we'll be hosting an orientation for our own board members and hope to have a handbook ready to review and for people to refer to within the next 2 months. Jennifer also mentioned, as my last item, our campaign listening session. It's going to be held February 5th from 4 to 5 in the afternoon. And I have put a link to that Zoom session in the chat. Also, watch for an update coming your way soon with an invitation. You know, we truly want to hear your ideas and questions about the campaign. We recognize that the messages we've been using haven't really appealed to our Master Gardener community and potential external donors in the way we'd like. And so as we look to retool what we're doing, we need your help and support to do that. So bring your best questions and your most novel ideas and join us on February 5th. I appreciate very much your attention and know, as Jennifer said, that we are available at any time to provide support. One of the things that's been especially gratifying this last few weeks is as new foundation presidents come on board, they've been great at asking questions, seeking input, and asking us to identify resources for them. That's exactly the kind of purpose we want to fulfill for you. So thank you for that level of trust. Jennifer, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Tana. So as you can see, I think, I mean, from my reporting and Tana's reporting out, we work very closely together. And I think that's what makes us strong. So I really appreciate the support of the State Foundation, the leadership that Tana and Kathy and Gilbert and John, Debbie, Kitty, the rest of the board provide to me, and vice versa. And our goal with these partnerships is to make them a win-win, to make them truly mutually beneficial. So we will be reaching out, and we will be wanting to work with you and hear from you as we develop these trainings for creating our partnerships. Thank you all for taking time out of your Thursday morning to hear from me and for your service to the Master Gardener program. I'm here for you, I advocate for you, and WSU is very appreciative of the work that you do in support of our full mission. Our next meeting is February 27, 9 a.m. Any last thoughts, questions?
Just a quick question, Deborah, the meeting, Tana, you mentioned on the 5th, is that the link that was put into the chat, and what time is that?
That is the link that was put into the chat, and it's from 4 to 5.
Thank you so much.
In the afternoon.
Thank you.
I'll share it out with program coordinators, and I suspect Tana will share it out with the full board.
Debbie and I are working on that this afternoon.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the group? All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Thanks
I'll see
for
you
the
next month,
update.
if not before. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.